The same companies that got you addicted to cigarettes are now selling you the cure to quit. And they're using the exact same playbook. You know Philip Morris, the tobacco giant behind Marlboro. But did you know they also own pharmaceutical companies? After decades of lying about the dangers of smoking and engineering cigarettes to be more addictive, Big Tobacco faced a problem. People started quitting. So, what did they do? They bought into the solution. They invested heavily in pharmaceutical companies that develop and sell nicotine replacement therapies, like patches, gums, and inhalers. They created the disease, then monetized the cure. The marketing, the lobbying, the manipulation of science. It's the same business model, just a different product. It's the ultimate story of corporate corruption, profiting from the addiction and then profiting again from the desperate attempt to break free. It was never about your health. It was always about their bottom line.
The idea that depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in your brain is a myth. It was invented by an ad agency, not a scientist. For decades, we've been told that depression is a simple biological problem, a low serotonin, and the solution is a pill to fix it. But this theory was never proven. In fact, it was created by pharmaceutical marketers in the 1980s to sell a new class of drugs, SSRIs. They took a complex condition and boiled it down to a simple, marketable slogan. Leaked internal documents show that drug companies knew their antidepressants were only marginally more effective than a placebo, and they buried the studies that show negative results. Sigh, they sold a story, not a science. The chemical imbalance theory has been one of the most successful marketing campaigns in history, generating hundreds of billions in revenue by convincing millions of people they have a broken brain that only a pill can fix.
There is only one product in America that has zero liability if it injures or kills you, and you're probably required to take it. In 1986, President Ronald Reagan signed the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. This landmark law gave pharmaceutical companies complete legal immunity from lawsuits related to vaccine injuries and deaths. If a vaccine harms someone, the manufacturer cannot be sued. Instead, victims must go to a special, no-fault vaccine court and get compensation from a fund paid for by a tax on every dose sold. No other industry in the world has this kind of blanket protection. Car companies, food manufacturers, toy makers, they can all be held accountable for unsafe products, but not vaccine makers. This law removed the primary financial incentive for companies to make their products as safe as possible. It's a system designed to protect corporate profits, not public health, and it's a deal no other industry ever got.
The generic drug you're taking might be a fraud, and the FDA has no idea. You trust that your generic medication is the same as the brand name, just cheaper. But what if it's not? Over 80% of the ingredients for America's drugs are made in India and China, where oversight is minimal. A shocking book, Bottle of Lies, exposed a world of widespread fraud, where factory workers routinely fake test results to hide impurities and incorrect dosages. They keep two sets of books, one for the FDA inspectors and one with the real, terrifying data. The FDA rarely does surprise inspections, giving factories weeks to clean up and prepare for their visit. So while the active ingredient might be the same, the quality, safety, and effectiveness of the generic drug you're taking could be a complete gamble. It's the dirty secret of globalization, and your health is on the line.
The opioid crisis wasn't an accident. It was a business plan. In the late 1990s, Purdue Pharma launched OxyContin with a single deceptive message. It was less addictive than other painkillers. Internal documents have since proven they knew this was a lie. This was the start of the deadliest drug epidemic in American history, and it was engineered from the top down. Pharmaceutical companies spent $1 billion marketing these drugs directly to doctors, paying them to speak at conferences and pushing them to prescribe higher and higher doses. They created fake grassroots patient groups to lobby for more opioid use and downplay the risks of addiction. They targeted vulnerable communities, turning doctors into dealers and patients into addicts. It wasn't a mistake or a miscalculation. It was a deliberate, multi-$1 billion conspiracy to profit from pain, and it left a trail of devastation that continues to this day.